Hey there, you beautiful miracle you. Happy Thursday. It's Susan, the optimistic drunk, and I just wanted to come on here today to just kind of share some things I've been thinking about and learning. You know, we talk a lot about emotional pain in recovery, but I don't know if we talk enough about the reality of going through that emotional pain. We work through a lot of things, that are kind of down in the basements of our minds and our experiences. We talk about it, we talk about being hurt and hurting people, but working a recovery program, especially if you do a 12-step program, requires you to not only acknowledge that emotional pain, but to get really acquainted with it, to taste it. To fully process it. You have to almost embrace it in order to be able to release it. You've got to fully acknowledge it. And it's so hard. It's so hard. Emotional pain, whether it is the result of past trauma, of wrongs that were done, of upbringings, of just, mistreatment, of just bad crap that happened, bad things we've gone through. So often, that emotional pain is a big part of what has kept us drinking and using. Because it starts to come up, and it's like, oh no, hell no, I don't want that today. I know for me that was absolutely true. The reality of, hurt, the reality of pain, the crushing feeling of that pain coming up. You would just kind of feel it edging up, like a wave kind of lapping at your feet. And that little taste of it was enough for me to immediately reach for a drink. It's like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I want to feel happy. That's all I want to feel. I have always, I'm the optimistic drunk. I really always have been an optimist for the majority of my life. I am so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for having an optimistic nature. I'm so thankful for naturally viewing things, glass half full. That is, I think, probably the biggest gift I've ever received, just about my personal character. It's grown authentically in my recovery because of me facing that emotional pain and working through it. And even when it felt like my brain and my heart and my soul were being cut with 10,000 knives, even when that emotional pain was so intense, and all I could do to get through it was just to get through it. For me, it's just calling out to my higher power, praying, talking to people, crying, screaming. You've got to let those things out. You've got to let the tears flow. You've got to let your screams out. Obviously, I talk a lot about appropriate emotional displays, and we learn about that in recovery. Like toddlers, we're learning when it's appropriate to do certain things and when it's not. So screaming bloody murder, in the middle of a crowded restaurant, probably not the ideal thing to do. But if you're overwhelmed with emotion in the middle of that restaurant, you can absolutely excuse yourself and go to the bathroom and cry. Okay? When you get home, you can, shut yourself in your house and grab a pillow and scream bloody murder into that pillow. You have to physically let these emotions out. in order to move past them. It won't all happen at once, different things. I know some people who've experienced such profound trauma. They're still, even years after they became sober, they're still working through these things. They're still healing and processing. It is a process. It is a journey. And something that makes it even more difficult, as if facing the reality of that emotional pain wasn't a big enough ask, we also have to do it stone cold sober. It's just, I fully realized the enormity of that recently. I was just having a conversation with my fella, and he's a normal drinker. He can have a beer. But he's so interested and supportive of my recovery, of my sobriety. And it was just a conversation we were having. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me, it's like, this is why it's so hard. This is why it's so hard. When I was drinking, I can remember sometimes using my drunks as an excuse to just let it out. I mean, I think most of us have probably been there. You're just hammered and you just sit there and cry and woe is me and the world is so horrible and you think you're really processing it. And I only cry when I'm hammered or when I'm drunk. You're not really processing it. You're not really processing it. You're letting stuff out, but not in a healthy way. So just to be able to emote, authentically emote, and to have to do it in recovery without anesthetizing, without numbing, that pain can be almost cataclysmic, that emotional pain. So a couple things I know that might help, I hope they do. You won't die from it. The pain won't kill you. I know it will feel like it will kill you. You don't need to numb it to survive it. You do need to experience it in order to release it, to move through it, to let it go. You must experience it. I look at spiritual growth as kind of a clearing out, all the clutter that's in our minds, in our hearts, in our souls, in our psyches. There's so much shame. There's so much guilt, so much baggage and negativity and hurt. We've got to pull it out. It's kind of like you're going through, you're doing spring cleaning, and you wouldn't just sweep everything out of a drawer into a box without looking at it. It's like we pull these things out. We pull these emotions out. We pull these experiences out, and we look at them and we feel them, and we give them a voice. We acknowledge them. It's like looking at those things in the drawer, and then we permit ourselves to let them go. We can release them. Sometimes it happens fairly quickly. Sometimes it takes a long time. But as long as you continue to address that, as long as you continue to try, you can't screw this up. You cannot screw your recovery up as long as you're trying. I've said before, and I'll say it again, the only thing you have to do perfectly is surrender, is admit you're powerless over alcohol. That's the only thing you have to do perfectly. And that can take some time to get to also. But just working through this emotional pain, just the thought of it is terrifying. Just the avoidance, wanting to avoid it. Again, that's us falling into old patterns, old habits. We have been avoiding, we have been running, we have been escaping. So now's the time we got to put on our big boy pants, our big girl pants. Know that, it's going to hurt like hell, and it's going to be so hard. but it will not kill us. And once we acknowledge it, we can let it go. And that opens us for room for new growth, for new habits, for new beliefs, for the expansion of our faith in that higher power, in that energy of the universe. And it's all happening as it's supposed to. I now have the ability to look back throughout my life and see specific things, not everything, not every bad thing that happened, but to see specific things that were negative that happened that I know had an absolute role in getting me here right now. There are other things I still don't understand. I don't know that I will ever understand, but I've accepted them. You know, the loss of my mom at 10, that played a big part in my alcoholism. And I learned about that when I went through inpatient rehab. And, you know, when I've gone through my recovery journey, I stuffed that all down. I tried to be okay. Oh, this is not a big deal because everybody says it's not a big deal. So it must not be a big deal. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. I don't know what specific role that might have been intending to play. I don't know. I accept that it happened. It sucks. I wish I could know my mom. You know, I wish I had the chance to have a relationship with her, to know who she was, to know what she laughed at and was scared of, and what her dreams and hopes were. I can't dwell on that. I can't keep asking why. I can either go, you know what, this happened and it sucks, and let that emotional pain of that out, acknowledge it, let it out, and do my best to move on from it. Or I can hold on to it and go, why? And I will probably remain a miserable person, dissatisfied, angry, frustrated. You know, we don't have all the answers. Recovery does not give you all the answers. It gives you a lot of them through time. You'd be amazed how many things make themselves clear. It's all part of that spiritual growth, that understanding of your place in this big wide world, in this infinite universe. I do know for a fact part of my purpose through my spiritual exploration and growth, part of my purpose is to spread love, is to spread light, to share joy, to share hope. Not necessarily only as it relates to recovery, to addiction, but in every area I can. I'm so thankful for that. You know, I won't go down in history books. A lot of people might not know who the hell this optimistic drunk lady is, but I know I'm affecting some people and helping some people and reaching some people with the light and the love I have to share. That's a really amazing thing. I'm good with that. So just my thoughts for the day. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep focusing on today. That's all you need to do. Just focus on today. Today is doable. Don't overwhelm yourself. Come from a place of gratitude. No matter where you are, there is something you can express gratitude for. So do that whole turn up your face and just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for my cup of hot tea. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my vehicle. Thank you for my goofy kitty cats. Thank you for my family, my friends. Thank you for this now, my now. Live from a place of gratitude. Focus on today. Reach out. Let that higher power see your gratitude. Ask for help. And know you are so worth this. Have a fantastic day. See you soon.